All right, guys, how's everybody doing? Man, it's been like a crazy week and a half. Our whole team has been getting something up with them like this whole week or whatever. But yeah, man, we're here trying to do the thing. We gotta catch up. I would like to. I wished I could have said the reason why we didn't do an episode last week was because of the fact of this. I wish this is the reason why we didn't do the episode for you guys is because of the fact that maybe we didn't want to talk about this dynamic that was happening right here, but that's not actually the case. We would have definitely talked about it, but your man right here got diagnosed with COVID as he was actually checking for something else, and ended up getting diagnosed at the same time with that with diabetes. So I am here a week later. Trying to do the thing and everything else. So thank you guys for being patient. We're going to try to cover both episodes the best we can tonight, and hopefully for the rest of the season, we'll stay on schedule. I can't promise anything because even another one of our team got hit by COVID already this week or whatever. So, and that would be Dagan. So I hope he's got a speedy recovery and everything else. But besides all that, Caleb, how's everything been going with you, man?
Well, as you can see, why my sunglasses, it hasn't been going great. A little bit of my eye issue, but you know what? I'm gonna fight through it, and do this review with you, man.
All right, let's do it. So we had episode 4 and we had episode 5, and since we're able to do a show, like I said, we was able to do it each week after the show, leading up to the thing. But like I said, COVID's still out there hitting folks. It hit us over here as a team, so we're trying to recuperate. But with episode 4, we had like a big time setup episode. Now, the one thing about this is Game of Thrones. So even though you may call something a setup episode, they're really super still, riveting and entertaining. Episode 4, like I said, not a lot of action, not a lot of those kind of beats, but it was obviously setting up the characters and stuff. Like you saw, I'll pull that picture up. You had Daemon taking his what would she be niece? Yeah. So you had Daemon taking his niece out on the town. Takes her to probably an establishment
As
that you probably shouldn't take.
Weird uncle would.
Yeah. Probably taking you to an establishment you probably shouldn't be taking your niece to and whatnot. When it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? And you definitely shouldn't be staring at them like that, and your lips shouldn't be that close to touching each other, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just what it is. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Lord. Yeah, see, shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I live in Alabama, and, that is still looked down upon in the great state of Alabama.
Oh, is it?
Even though
I thought you guys are used to it.
Some people don't – listen, unless you're a Roll Tide fan, it's wrong, okay? All right? That's all I got to say about that. But so they actually might both root for the Crimson Tide, so maybe that'll make it okay. I don't know. But with that being said, that was a big plot point for that episode, setting up things later on down the road, because what we having is we're leading into what is called the Dance of Dragons, which Caleb's actually reading the books. I think he's actually caught up to the area that we're at or really close to it, somewhere around there. Yep. And the thing about this is the setup for the Dance of Dragons is this family dynamic starts to get a little skewed, starts to get a little messed up. You got Daemon doing the thing with his niece. You got just these different houses trying to vie for power, kind of like in the original Game of Thrones and all that kind of good stuff. Now, the thing about it is the Targaryens still have a lot of power because they still have dragons. And when you have dragons, you be whooping that ass. I don't care what you think you got, how many swords, how many shields you got, how many buildings you got. It don't make a damn when you got dragons. So that's the thing is even though there are people out there trying to make plays, they're having to make these plays under the scenes. Since episode 1, Otto Hightower has been setting up his daughter. He ended up getting her married to the king, so that gave his house a little power there because, his daughter is sitting on the throne with the king as the queen. And now he's been setting up because she's already gave him a couple of heirs, and one of them being a male heir, which means a lot during this time period in this fictional setting. The male usually gets the rights. And, unfortunately, that's just how it is. In this, like I said, in this story, in this fantasy world. So with that being said, he's trying to push for that boy child to become the heir. And he's doing it a little more aggressive than what he probably should, because as you watch the episode and get towards the end here, Otto Hightower kind of jinxed himself, you know what I'm saying? Kind of puts himself in a bad situation, because with him doing that major push with this on the show, at the very end of the episode, something we can go ahead and talk about is the king kind of realizes now, oh, you pushed your daughter on me. I didn't really think it was that at the beginning, but now because of how you're acting, because she gave the male heir all these last couple years of time, you've been really trying to push for that. So now I know what your real motive is and stuff like that. So Otto Hightower kind of gave away his plan, and the king didn't like it very much. So the very end of the episode, you see him getting the hand of the king taken from him, so he's not hand of the king anymore. So like all that stuff I just talked about, Caleb. I mean, what did you think? You got anything to add?
Yeah, just like you said, a lot set up here. It wasn't really the greatest episode, to be honest. But you know, trying to get setting up everything. But as far as the end, but he should know. He should know. He should know that the whole time what he was playing, what his whole motivations for all getting in his ear, trying to do stuff, trying to make moves, all that. Placing his daughter, marrying him and all that. Like, I mean, of course he's doing it for his own purposes. He should have seen that. But honestly, I kind of on his side a little bit, because even Otto Hightower, he knows that war is coming, because the realm ain't never going to accept it. Like, they're not going to accept a girl, being the queen, and being the leader. And he just sees it. Like, so whether it is for his purposes, yeah, it is obviously for his own, his own doing, but also, like, he is right that it is going to lead to a conflict between the family.
Right.
So, I mean, he's just trying to think ahead. So he's not necessarily wrong, even though he is playing his way, overplaying his part. But like you said, and then she gave him the ultimatum that I'll do it. Like, I'll marry the one the Valerian son, if you get rid of him, because he's not with me. Like, he's going against me. He doesn't want me to be queen, so I need you to get rid of him. If you can do that, then I'll do what you say.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, there's a little bit of nuance there, you know what I'm saying? Because like she knows that he's trying to set her up, basically, is what it looks like, because ultimately she tells her the truth, or tells Alicent the truth, right? Like, because the two friends or whatever at the time, she's like, look, how could you doubt me? Like, Daemon didn't touch me. Well, Daemon did touch her, but like, it wasn't in the way that they were trying to say, right? It wasn't in that way, though. Like, they didn't go all the way, right? They didn't actually have like sexual relations. It just got really close to that.
Hanging.
So like, she actually still kind of told the truth there, and like Alicent doesn't know what to believe. And like, when we jump into the next episode here in just a minute, because we can't spend too much time on each episode, but in this particular episode, she doesn't know any better. So she's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to try to, partly believe you or whatnot. And like I said, she's actually telling the truth. We're going to say hello real quick, though, to your dad, Leo, right there. He in chat. And then we got Gregory over here talking about we hard and throbbing in the chat. Well, you know what? What I say to that is, if you don't want to be hard and throbbing all the time, you look at something like this.
Look at that. I'll get you stop real quick.
Everybody out in the chat getting blasted. They're getting blasted now, but not when you look at it, man. It's like it's just one of those things where I agree. Like, things are trying to get set up. One of the things that I like about this show so far, even though it's written well and it's put together like a Game of Thrones, like, it really truthfully feels like a Game of Thrones. Like, the first 6 seasons of the original Game of Thrones are some of the most, greatest television ever. I think this is actually leading up to be like really good television as well. Like, already is at that level to me. The problem that I've got, or not even problem, but the thing is like, this is totally different. Whereas like these characters are more gray than what we had a lot of times in the original Game of Thrones. Like, you had Cersei, you knew she was bad, dude. Like, you knew she
you had your heroes and villains quick right
right
out
off
the
the
first
bat.
episode.
Yeah. Like you knew Littlefinger's doing shady stuff. You know, Varys is out there doing his whispering, you know, with his little birdies and everything else. So like you knew where a lot of people stood in this show. Like it seems like not everybody's bad. Like the king seems like a good guy. Like he's trying to set stuff up. He's not even betraying his daughter. He made the promise to his daughter that she was going to be heir, and he's still like standing strong on that like thing, no matter what happens, no matter even when Otto Hightower comes in and accuses his daughter of like having sex with Daemon, like he like stands for her in that instance, like and then like says you must be lying and all this stuff, right? So like he's not a bad guy. Like he might be making some bad decisions or some weak decisions, and his body might be falling apart because he's losing fingers and everything else on his body, for God's sakes. But with that being said, like he's still like trying to be a good guy. Like I just don't see any of these people, like even Daemon, like Daemon's like this weird like cat to where like, okay, he could be evil, but like you don't know 100% like if he's evil. Like there's
In
things
this
that
next
can be
episode,
still questioned.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
pretty
but
clear.
I mean, even in that, we can talk about that in a minute. But like, you know, like
I mean,
he you know, he
no reason
sets
he had to
up
do that.
basically like the one thing he did is kind of bad, right? Like would be to me is like he tried to set up his niece basically. Like to me it wasn't about having sex with her or anything. It was about getting her there so that people could see that, and then people do the rumors, and because there's the rumors out there that she's, you know, sullied, you know what I'm saying, to use a Game of Thrones term, she's not perfectly clean and whatever, like because she's had sex before marriage kind of deal. Like because of that, I think he was just trying to set it up because like if she doesn't look like she could be someone to pass on to somewhere else, he basically saying like, oh, we could be married or he could marry her and then she's going to be the heir and he'll be the king, right?
Yeah.
And like he's always said the full time that like being married is just like a business proposition. Like you can go do whatever you want after you get married. It's just the marriage is just there for show, right? Like and everything else. So like that's one of those things that I think he was trying to set up. It was that the most terrible thing I've ever seen. Not in Game of Thrones world. Not in Game of Thrones world. Not the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my life. Like to be honest with you, even in real life. So like, I mean, yeah, is he a bad guy? Maybe, but is he evil? No. And it's like I said, like you knew people were evil or good in a lot of cases from the original Game of Thrones, and that's one of the reasons why I like this new show, The House of Dragons, because like they didn't just take that same thing and write exactly the same. You got a lot of these characters, like I said, you don't know where they're going to lie. You don't know what side to be on right now, right? Like for real, like to be honest with you, as a person that hasn't read the Fire and Blood stuff out there, I don't know whose side's the good side. Like, is it going to be the queen?
There really isn't a good side. I mean, it's just family on family, and it's just, I mean, they both kind of do their own bad things in a way. So, I mean,
family on
family. It's not really good versus bad.
My man said family on family. There we go, right there.
Family.
But yeah, I mean, but that was the biggest things like in the first episode. We also see at the very end because like the king still thinks that maybe possibly something did happen between her and Daemon, which we know nothing happened between her and Daemon. She was getting that twing. Well, she was getting that thing on with Sir Christian Cole, which is part of the King's Guard. And if you're newer to like a Game of Thrones setting, the King's Guard basically takes a vow of abstinence where they're like, yo, we're not going to be doing anything like that, all this stuff. So it's definitely terrible for him to be actually even like, for one, he shouldn't be making love to the princess. And for two, he shouldn't definitely be doing it when he's the King Guard and the one swore to protect her. It's even worse. So like he makes, I don't know, man. She kind of like guided him into this. So I don't even want to say he's like perfectly bad or whatever, because like stuck in that position, I don't know. Like a lot of dudes probably make the same decision he ended up making, to be honest. But there, we had that situation happen. So she did have some sexual relations outside of marriage before she was married. But it's all, everybody thinks it's with Daemon, but it's actually with Sir Christian Cole. And there's a thing of tea that was made that was put in front of her for her to drink. That was basically like the morning after pill for her to drink, and it would get rid of like any baby that she may have had. I am going to assume because like we have a little bit of a time jump in between episodes that obviously she's not pregnant, so she probably drank that tea because it doesn't show her actually drinking it. But I'm going to assume that she did, possibly. And so we had that part of the episode that happened as well. But before we move on, like you said, this was a bunch of like setup for the stuff going on this episode 4. But do we have anything else on episode 4?
Yeah, that's why I'm pointing out the references to Game of Thrones, like when she goes out into the streets and she watches that play. It brought me back to when Arya went to Essos and watched it play, because it really gives you a view, at least gives her both Arya and Rhaenyra, like what the people actually think about them, you know, because they're off in the castle and they're kind of away from the regular people, and they don't really know how the regular people think about them. But now she knows that, you know, the common people ain't really down for her and really won't accept her as queen. So, you know, maybe that plays into her decisions going forward, knowing the fact like she really don't even have the people on her side, and also the fact.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you. I was going to jump on to the next episode, but you have something.
Oh, no. I have one more thing. Just the dagger, obviously brought up again.
That cat's paw, baby.
Yeah, saying.
I think that's cool flavor. It doesn't really add anything because the dagger doesn't say anything more than what he's already told us. But it is cool to know that this dagger that's been passed down has this message on there that, like in the original Game of Thrones, if somebody would have just heated that blade up, they would have known what was going to go down. They'd have been like, yo, bro, look what I got. But nobody, you know, I mean, whoever thinks about that, right? The only way you probably ever would heat the blade up on that cat's paw dagger is like if somebody was bleeding and you were trying to cauterize the wound. So you're like, oh, let's heat the blade up so we can do that. And like maybe by chance you happen to notice, oh, there's words written on here. But, you know, that ain't going to happen, really, truthfully. I don't see that as like a plot hole or anything. I just think it's cool and add some flavor in even to the original Game of Thrones. I know that this dagger that was sent to kill Bran is this dagger that just keeps going, that has this very important message like hidden in it after you heat it up. Before we move on to the next thing, I got to bring this up. Look at this right here. No shout out for the favorite gals. I see how it is. Like, I mean, for one, Leo's Caleb's dad. And for two, I had to set up the hard and throbbing jokes. The only reason why I brought up Greg's. But yeah, thank you, both Adelia and Brandi, for being there as well. Obviously. But like going on to the next episode, some people love this episode. Some people think it's one of their favorite episodes. It's not necessarily my favorite episode. I think it's like the end part of the setup because, like, if I'm not mistaken, after this episode, we're going to jump a pretty decent amount in time. The girls are going to get older. So this was the last episode that we have the younger actresses in their place. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to miss them. I thought they did a really good job the first episodes that we have had so far this season. Like I think, man, they're probably going to get kicked off and get some more jobs for something because I thought they played their characters well. I thought they did what they needed to do. I had no complaints for both of the young actresses that are about to be replaced by the older actresses as we move forward. But yeah, man, we're really seeing the king really starting to fall apart. We get to see the queen, or not queen, but princess actually fulfill her part of the promise because he did take away the hand of the king from Otto Hightower like she wanted. So she has to do this marriage. So she's fulfilling this marriage, that she's supposed to do her part of the bargain. She goes there. She meets the young gentleman and they were able to talk. One of the things that I didn't notice from one of the first episodes is that this guy right here, he is gay. And like, that comes part of the plan, right? So they're talking on the beach and everything, and he lets her know. Basically, she already probably kind of knows. There's some hints there that he doesn't really dig women and everything else. So she basically talks and says the same thing she learned from Damon, right? Like, hey, this is just a business proposition. We got to do this for the realm. This is our job to do to
duck keep. And he like goose and all that type of shit.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like he liking duck, somebody liking goose and everything else. But like she's basically like, we get married. We do our things for the realm, and then we can just go eat our own, entrees from there on out and everything. Basically saying like, you can have your love affair. I'll have my love affair. Who cares? We'll still be married. We'll still act like king and queen, but we'll be able to do our own thing, which sounds like, hey, not a bad deal. You know what I'm saying? Like that, kind of like you get to have the cake and eat it too sort of situation.
I mean, yeah, because basically that's what Marjorie Tyrell and what's the name? The other Baratheon.
Renly.
Yeah,
I mean that's kind of like what she was trying to set up, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the type of situation they had. We'll do our duty as king queen, but we're gonna screw who we want.
Yeah, we're gonna do whatever we got to do, like to get get the rim and get it into piece. I mean, like I said, like, but here goes the thing. Here goes the thing, man. This is my problem with any of these like different style relationships and open relationships that people, you know, say they have and everything else. There is a very small amount, very minute percentage wise of those kind of relationships that don't have any problems. Simply because one of the biggest things that I know about human beings, besides they're going to be born and they're going to die, is the fact of jealousy. It doesn't matter. I don't care. If you're a human being, you will be jealous to some point. Now, there's some of us that ain't that jealous, right? Like maybe there's only like certain little bitty things. And when you do get jealous, it's not that big of a deal. You brush it aside. It ain't that big of a thing. But there's a decent amount of us out there that be jealous as hell. Jealous as hell. Like we start seeing some of that play out in this whole thing because you got the boyfriend, basically both boyfriends. Basically, you got Christian Cole and the gentleman from I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. But the you remember? Oh, Joffrey. His name's Joffrey. So the gentleman that is actually in a love affair with the soon-to-be possible king, and they're like, you can already see the jealousy from Christian Cole. He goes on a long speech, like where he's trying to get her to run away with him and everything else. And this dude over here is like seeing them having to do their little marriage thing and all that. And you can see like this jealousy build. And it's like, bro, you know what it is. You know, they're not actually doing this, but for show. Like, I don't get why these people let jealousy kind of ruin them and everything else. But that's kind of what we get. So with some of that stuff, Caleb, I mean, you got anything to expound upon?
Yeah, I don't know if he's jealousy. I just think he really just feels bad that he broke his oath. You know, like
well, Christian Cole, yeah.
He trying to you know, make up for you know, having sex with her and trying to do right by her. Just like, okay, well, I already screwed up. Maybe I can make up for it by marrying you and going off and running away. Then we don't have to deal with any of this stuff going on in Westeros. You know
what? That's kind of backwards, man. Usually you wait until, like, you know, she got pregnant, right? Then you're trying to make amends. You'd be like, oh, damn, you know, she got pregnant. Like, I feel bad. I need to do the right thing. I need to be a dad to my son or daughter or whatever it is and everything. It's like, all right. But nah, he trying to do it. He don't even know if she's pregnant or not. He just like, yo, come run away. Like, it's one of those things where, yeah, she's complaining about her position because, you know, it kind of sucks to have someone always try to almost tell you what to do. And even though you're in a very powerful situation, so it seems like, oh, you should have like the most freedom out of anybody to do whatever. No, that actually still comes with responsibilities and decisions and stuff that aren't really made for you all the time. So, like, with that being said, like, she's still kind of trapped in a certain thing. And for him to even think that she would give up the throne, the Iron Throne,
like,
to like go off out
like,
there.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Like her decision going forward in the last episode. Like no, she is like deadly focused. Like, I'm gonna be queen. Like, all her decisions is to be queen. So why would she go off with you to wherever the hell? Yeah. Like, this whole purpose, like, she gonna prove the common people wrong, everybody wrong, her father wrong, everybody wrong. I'm gonna be queen. I'm gonna lead this going forward. Because that's what she's trying to do. Like, that's the whole purpose right now. So yeah, that's why I said that's where her mind is at right now. She ain't trying to, you know, go get married somewhere else.
Yeah, and it is one of those things, and like, you know, you and even if she wanted to, in a position of where she's in, you can't just disappear. Like, he thinks that, oh, we can run off to Essos or something like that, you know, and do whatever and hide and everything. But like, you don't think her dad's going to be searching for her. You don't think he's going to send people out there to like search for her and stuff like that. That's just kind of a blind's eye. It's like he said, he made a mistake. And now he's trying to make up for it in some kind of way, and you know, he's trying to do that, and it's not. But as we see, we go to
technically
a wedding.
Something in the book, there was a princess that did run away,
right
off to Essos on a dragon and just disappeared, and they didn't find her till she came back. So it can
now,
happen.
But it might be a different situation too. Like, she's actually the heir, so her dad's definitely going to be.
Well, she was the heir too. The other one was the heir too.
Oh, okay, yeah, all
yeah.
Right.
She was the heir. She then not the last king told her like she couldn't be heir, was gonna go to someone else, so she just ran off and just split. But then she came back with some disease, and then she died.
Oh damn, man! Why you want to tell us a sad story like that, Caleb? We're already having to deal with some sadness right here because I just talked about.
I'll just try to point out the fact that it has happened before.
Listen,
where,
I just talked about Joffrey, and one thing in the Game of Thrones is I know people love seeing Joffreys get just murdered. Okay, when Prince Joffrey got murdered in the first Game of Thrones, thank God, thank God that bastard got out of here. But with this one though, I don't think people is as happy. The name Joffrey, when I heard the guy's name was Joffrey, I was like, damn, dude, he got unlucky. And then in this episode, we have like a wedding. And because for whatever reason in the Game of Thrones, we can't be having all out happy weddings. I mean, this one started out pretty nice.
It wasn't even a wedding. Good. It was just a party.
The pre-wedding. It was like a pre-wedding, right? So like they're sitting over here doing their thing. They start doing some dances. And then Mr. Joffrey tried to go up to Christian Cole and be like, yo, bro, let me tell you something. I know about your secret. So you better be stepping the right way and do your thing, and everybody can be happy, right? So I'm like, oh shit, like he's kind of right a little bit here. If Christian Cole can get his crap together, like he'll still be able to do his thing. Joffrey be able to do his thing, and then like the king and queen will do their king and queen duties. But on the sidelines, they'll be still having their fun and everything. So he walks away. Christian Cole uses all the people there dancing and everything and the chaos to jump on this dude and literally just beat him to death, like on his face. Like I'm talking about, he made his face into hamburger meat right there in the middle of the damn floor of this wedding ceremony or pre-wedding ceremony, feast, whatever you want to call it. And bro, so Joffrey dead. We got another Joffrey death in the Game of Thrones franchise. What did you think about this, dude? I just think it's dumb. Like in these situations, how people just can't put their pride aside. They can't put that kind of situation, put it to the side and just be like, hey, listen, if we just go by these, even though the rules may be dumb, right? Even though these medieval style Game of Thrones, like just king and queen crap is unfair sometimes and the rules are kind of stupid. They got things they got to go by. Listen, okay, we got the rules. We understand this, but you know what? We can play outside the rules just a little bit and we can be happy. I don't get why people just can't be happy with that, right? Why do they always have to try to like do even more, get even more and just be like, whoa, dude, like, come on, man. Like if you Christian Cole, if all you do is sit back and chill, you'll still be able to have the love of your life or who you think's the love of your life, be with a beautiful woman, shit, do whatever you want, with the queen. Still, and then you're probably more powerful than you're ever going to be in your whole life because the best you're going to be as a knight because of where he's from. You know what I'm saying? And Joffrey, the same way. Why couldn't he just keep his mouth shut and just chill? Like in his situation, because like the same thing, man. Like you're going to be doing your thing with the king. You're going to have his ear. You're going to have more power than you probably ever would have beforehand. But you just can't be happy with that. Just can't be happy with that. So you got to start shit.
More than that, because like he went over there, so we should both keep our mouth shut right now. Because I mean, he already told the queen. He already told the queen that I hooked up with Rhaenyra. So I mean, who else? Not that he knew that he told the queen, but I guess he just seemed like someone that was about to tell on. So like you said, he would just go in there and make sure everything was cool, and then dude got mad. But the way he said it though, I can see where Christian Cole like that he came at him like that.
Yeah, but the way he said it though, I could see where like Christian Cole, for instance, could take that as like almost like a threat. Like we need to keep our mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the way he put it across there and the way he said it and everything else, like the tone that he said it with could have been misconstrued, right? Maybe he was trying to be just innocent and be like, oh yeah, just keep our mouth shut. But he was trying to threaten a mug, man. Christian Cole ain't standing for that shit. He's a dude who like won the tournament and stuff. Like he's a badass dude. Let's be honest. Like he can
do anything to protect my dude and whatever. So
man,
definitely threatened him. That's why he should have came that way. But
look, he beat his face so bad. Look, he beat his face so bad that it basically was like an uninflated basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like it just got tore up, bro. Just like no air in it at all. Like man, he just sat there and kept beating that dude. And I don't know what's going to happen because Christian Cole, after that scene, not too long after that, at the end of this episode, he's standing out there by the werewood, and he's like about to stab himself. He's about to commit suicide right there. And and he gets stopped by the queen. So I don't know why she does that, but I guess I'll find out next episode because some time's going to jump. And if he's still alive, he's going to be hanging out.
He can be useful as a spy. Keep tabs on what the hell she's doing, what Rhaenyra is doing. Because obviously, just knowing that, you know, he's hooked up with her, and she found out that Rhaenyra lied to her, and she
didn't lie, man. Like that's one thing. Like, stop all that nonsense. Like, she didn't lie. Like, nobody asked her about Christian Cole. Nobody asked, did you have sex with Christian Cole? No, that wasn't a question that was put forth. And she was being accused of having sex with Daemon, and she said she didn't. Right now, she took it a little further. You know what I'm saying? Like a little gray area feel, because she's like, Daemon didn't touch me. But a figure of speech, a lot of times, like, you know, somebody didn't touch me is about the sexual stuff, like the not just touching. Like, of course, they touched each other. They're uncle and niece. Like, of course, like at one point they took a picture together, or they didn't take pictures in this day. They got drawings. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they are at these feasts and stuff. They've obviously touched each other before, but just not in that way, that special touching way. You know what I'm saying? So, like, she didn't lie to me. Like, to me, she didn't lie. She told the truth. Her and Daemon never touched that way.
Yeah, I don't think that's what she meant. But
I mean, they did a little kissy, you know, but they stopped.
Well, that's touching. That's touching. That's touching.
That is, yeah, you're right.
I mean, her pants were down, like they were about to do it.
Yeah, she done pulled them britches down. Like,
so she lied. She lied.
Let me tell you something, man. Yeah, when you pulling those pants down and you be doing the kiss and everything else, like, you ready? You ready? Like, that's, you know, this channel is called Let's Get Ready, and she got ready, right? And I think I don't know, because like they have set up before earlier on in the season that Daemon's having problems getting it up. Okay, the man needs Viagra, but Viagra has not been invented yet. And so I actually do have to question the fact if he just couldn't get it up during that time, and that's why he walked away. Or if he would have walked away no matter what, like, that is something to think about. Would Daemon have kept going? Would he actually would have made love to his niece if, you know, like, everything was working properly? Because be honest with you, like, I don't think things wasn't working. Like, he couldn't get hard and throbbing, right? That's a big deal right there. Like, so, bro, but I tell you what, though, we do also have the king at the end of this episode, like, fall out. Now, I know that the king ain't dead, but there was a second there, I was like, damn, did he just die? Did he just die? I mean, shit, he just fell over right there at the end of the episode. We had the cool imagery of the blood from the guy earlier who got beat to death still on the floor as some rats come up to, like, slop that up a little bit there and everything else. But, like, it's, to me, that was like a symbolism of, like, yo, bro, we've been sitting here, we've been telling you this story. Not a lot of things have happened that's super bad. There's been a couple of, you know, crappy moments here and there, a couple of hardcore situations, but not that bad. It's kind of normal for the Game of Thrones, if you know what I'm saying, like when we talking about Westeros. But I think that's starting to change coming up pretty soon. There's going to be a lot more bloodshed coming up pretty soon to end this season, because this was episode 5. I'm not mistaken. This is 10 episodes. So we're at the halfway point. And I think it's just going to get more and more hardcore towards the end of the season, obviously, like a lot of shows will. So I do think that symbolizes that. We know the king's not going to be here for very much longer. I don't know if he's going to make – how many episodes? Let's take a bet right now. How many episodes do you think the king's actually going to survive? How many more episodes?
I think all of them. I mean –
You think all of them? He's going to survive all of them? Shit. The way he's passing out over there is – damn, the way he's passing out, like, in the body parts falling off, I don't think he's going to make it past one more episode. I think he got one more episode in him. That dude look like he's like half a zombie right now, bro, to be honest with you.
Well, I just know when he dies, so that's why I say all of them. And
I do know, because I do know history of Westeros. Like, I haven't read this particular book about this, but I do know we're about to be getting the queen walking out like she did with the green dress on and stuff symbolizes there's going to be a faction breakdown here coming up pretty soon. We'll probably start seeing it, if not get it fully fledged in the next episode. We're going to have the greens and the blacks. Okay, you're going to have the greens one side fighting for one heir, and like the blacks on the other side going for the other heir. and everything else. So like we'll see what happens with that. We'll see who sides with who. We obviously know the High Towers is going to be with their, with the Queen right now, and I think there's just going to be more and more strife because, like you said earlier, the Queen Alicent, like she feels like that. I always get her name kind of wrong because it got so many names that sound so much alike. But Rhaenyra's the
Rhaenyra.
princess, Rhaenyra's. Rhaenyra. So like you have Alicent and you have Rhaenyra. They're kind of going at it right now because Alicent thinks that Rhaenyra kind of lied to her, or at least didn't tell her the entire truth. And then she finds out that truth because Christian Cole went and blabbed his mouth. Like, bro, keep your mouth shut, bro.
She found out before then when the one dude with the foot came over and told her that she took some tea, and she was like, "Oh."
Nah, but she didn't. But she thought that she was lying to her about Daemon, not Christian Cole, though. She knew she had done the dirty, but did the deed. But she was thinking Daemon and not Cole. But Cole got to run his mouth, man. What kind of get out of here, bro? Get out of here. What do you think you're going to accomplish in? That dude, he is a weak piece of crap. You know what? Like, come on, man. Get out of here, dude. Think for yourself. Take care of yourself, Christian Cole. Like, I wanted to like the guy because he seems like a good warrior and stuff like that. But guess what? That's the only thing you can do because he just be getting told what to do and then falling for traps. And now he just like get by him. He's the one guy that you don't want to be standing next to if you fart. You know what I'm saying? Because he just going to tell everybody that you're the one that did it. Be like, oh, shit, this guy, he farted. I can't lie to you guys, man. He's right. Come on, dude. Why are you even giving out? Nobody even asked yet. Nobody even asked you, Cole. Like, and you just give out the information. So, it is what it is. Like, I just think that these last two episodes has been set up. It's been good set up. I've enjoyed both episodes and everything else leading up to this, but I can't wait for next week. Like, I really think that things are going to start hitting that high pitch, that really getting into what's going to go into and stuff like that. But anything else like that you want to bring up, Caleb?
We didn't go over the this is why I said Dame is a kind of good guy because he just straight up kills his wife at the beginning of the episode. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny that because you're talking about that they always use. They always use if anytime you want to kill someone, you just say they got thrown from their horse while they were hunting. Because even Samuel Tarley's dad was gonna say that. Yeah. If he didn't take the black, he was gonna say you just got something. So apparently that's just the go-to if you want to cover up a murder. I
mean, it's easy, and technically, like. If you don't like really pay attention to that episode, like you actually can't really 100% blame Daemon. You know what I'm saying? The horse did rear up and she fell and the horse fell on top of her and she wanted Daemon to do it. She was like, at that point, like, so that part of it was kind of an accident. And then Daemon walks over there and everything else. And he's like, yo, and then he went to walk away. And then she's like, oh man, I knew you were a wussy. I knew you were a wussy. You can't finish. And you know what I'm saying? Like the dude's dome can't get hard. He's going to take that emotional.
He can't finish.
You know what I'm saying? Like she calls, like, I mean, so it's a semi-accident. We see him pick up the rock. I didn't see him do it though. Did you see him do it?
I mean, it's pretty implied.
I mean, we can go ahead and guarantee you like smack. All right. But I mean, she if she would have just been quiet, maybe she could have been all right, man. Maybe old Royce could have came by, on his horse, picked her up and saved her or whatever. But she had to run that mouth, man. Like, why are you going to do that? You can't even get up and run away. Like, what's the point? Like, maybe she thought she was paralyzed or something and wanted to get.
She probably was paralyzed, yeah.
Yeah, that could be true. And maybe she wanted to go out the warrior way. You know what I'm saying? But, like, bruh, some of these people, man, it's like, dude, Bran, look at Bran, man. He survived without being able to walk. Like, dude, come on, guys.
Bran sucks.
But, yeah, that's probably the most evil kind of thing that Daemon has done. In this thing, Royce does confront him in this episode about like blaming him that he murdered, and he was like, he shut that down pretty quick. It's like, yo, after this wedding feast thing's done, I'm gonna be going down to the Vale and getting my inheritance. And he's like, damn, son, like, shoot, boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you Royce, you might want to keep that mouth shut, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he shut him down pretty quick there. That was pretty interesting part of the story. I do know that I am going to apologize at the very end of here because we have talked about most of the stuff in the last two episodes and everything else. But I'll be up front, like because of the COVID and me being diagnosed with diabetes and everything else and my body trying to adjust, I haven't been able to be like the same person leading up to here. I'm starting to feel better now. Like today, got off like an 8 or 9 hour shift and then turned around and came right up here to talk to you guys about these 2 episodes because I thought I owed that to you. Didn't come in. I have been taking notes because I've been so excited about doing this show and stuff. I've been taking notes and everything else for these shows and being like more prepared. Sorry if it seemed like we wasn't as prepared and we had to rush through these episodes talking about them. We did have to do 2 at one time because of what was going on and everything else. So thank you guys. Please be there. Like I said, I think the rest of this time, unless there's like some random thing that happens, hopefully it don't, we should be on schedule for almost every one of the episodes going forth, which will be Sundays after the show airs up to about an hour after the show goes on. We'll go live here and talk about this House of Dragons, which to me has been just a great continuation of a Game of Thrones history, the Game of Thrones world. Westeros, baby, is knocking it out of the park right now with some of the stuff. I'm going to go ahead and tell you because they got other shows in the works or other shows in the planning stages and everything else. They keep doing this good of a job with their shows and stuff. Game of Thrones is going to be one of the biggest IPs out there, trying to compete with stuff like Marvel and everything else. So we'll see what's going down with it. And hopefully, like I said, I think things are going to kick into full gear going the rest of the season. So it's going to be fun to talk about. And any last words, Kayla?
No, that's all good.
All right, man. Catch us back next week, like I said, and we'll have fun talking about the House of Dragons. And you guys can come in here and get in the chat and do it if you can live. If you can, even after it's done and said and over with, leave a comment in the comment section. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We talk about a lot of different things here and a lot of different shows and cover a lot of stuff in the entertainment world, sports world, wrestling, which is kind of both of them put together. And all that. So like Caleb and them talks about like all kinds of sports and stuff on here, and they do a pretty good job with that as well. And until next time, peace.